Hello everybody. Give me a shout out. Let me know if you can hear me. This is Ryan. Laura, you can start recording. Paul, Carmen, Lars, Matthew, Daniel, Michael, great to see you. Kathleen, Giannis, good to see you here, Giannis. Vincent, Roberta. All right, guys. So welcome to the first certification course. I'm really excited about this. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, and it's it's about time we get in. I've seen a lot of people come through ZBrush workshops with a lot of different levels of experience, and what I'm hoping this certification course does is really prepare everybody in a whole new way for ZBrush. Like really just give you the foundation that you've never had, so to speak. And that's something that's within my abilities because I know this program. I've been doing this for 10 years and I did development, so I just want to make sure you know it like I know it. So can you see my screen? Should be my sculpt of Angelina. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this screen here because it's saving, auto-saving a massive file. I hope it's not saving the undos. And so as soon as this gets finished saving, we will talk about what the curriculum, what we're going to look at today. That's going to be something that's really important. And in fact, I'm going to come into preference and I'm going to turn quick save off temporarily. Well, let's just leave it for now. And let's get started. So a couple of administrative things. If you're having any problems with your account or anything else, then make sure you go to support@ZBrushWorkshops.com. Email them. Okay, that's the first step. If it's urgent and you need to reach me, then it's Ryan@ZBrushWorkshops.com. Okay, but I'm a last defense kind of guy. Sometimes I'm on the email. Sometimes I take a 2-day break as I'm kind of busting through a big problem. So the other go-to person for this particular run of it is Nate. And Nate, his email is nate@ZBrushWorkshops.com. And I've put those in the chat section. So that you can just copy and paste those and keep them. Now, as you're going through this course, we're going to be doing the live lectures, which is what we're going to do today. But we're also going to be posting up some pre-recorded lessons for you, things that will go at a slower pace than what the live demo does. And then we're also going to have a weekly Google Hangout, and we'll send you that URL by email. Where you can join in and just, you can enter there anytime, but we're going to be there for a 3-hour period once a week to answer questions and basically open up office hours, so to speak. So before I move on, any questions about that? Go ahead and put them in the questions or chat section. I'm going to give you just a moment to put a couple of questions in there or to tell me no. And it's a good policy. If you don't have any questions, just type no. That way I know you're there, you can still hear me, which is important, and my audio did not drop out. Okay, Kathleen's got a question. Will these meetings be available? If you mean by meetings, this one we're having right now, this is being recorded. It will be available for download. So I'm recording it, and then someone else is recording it. I like to process these very quickly and get them up to you as soon as possible. So I will do that for this session. It'll either be late tonight or it'll be tomorrow on Father's Day. All right, double checking. And Ronnie can hear me good. Okay, let's talk curriculum. Oh, Christina, great question. Are these live meetings wrong? Thing. Let's throw this in there. Are these live meetings mandatory? No, they're not. The live meetings are not mandatory, and what's really important to me as an educator is that we make available to you synchronous and asynchronous ways of learning. I am an artist. I'm not a left brainer. You know, I didn't finish high school. I opted out of my last year at high school because there was no way I was going to graduate. I went straight into college. And in college, you know, I did some studying well, I did some studying not so well. So my goal is that the company support all learning types as much as possible. So if you have any problems, be the squeaky wheel so that we can get the grease together. Okay, I believe in good solid problems, and so bring problems to me. That's a positive thing. So you do not have to be in the live meetings. They will be recorded. We will have the Google Hangout, and we will have pre-recorded lessons, and the live session is pre-recorded, and I can talk to you via voice, via email, or via webinar. The one thing to keep in mind is that this webinar is not the best place to wait for your support question, because I'm going to be basically dumping so much information on you. If you have a question, email it. That's the best, fastest, greatest way, and email it right away. All right. Happy Father's Day to you, Michael. And Paul, I will send you an email with a link to exactly where you need to go to get this download, as well as to watch it streaming. And Charles, the Google Hangout is at a different time than the live lecture. But we'll email that to you on Monday or Tuesday. All right, guys, that's a lot of good questions. Let me think. There was one more that I wanted to make sure you're aware of. Okay, every time I run these courses, I always forget to tell you guys, you have free upgrades. All right, so when this class is updated again, which right now I am planning on running it in September, you will automatically be enrolled in that September course, and it does not cost you anything. That's gratis. That's you. That's what I think is beautiful about online education. You get a whole new paradigm. So I can offer a lot more than a traditional school would offer, because a traditional school has to pay for that real estate where that seat exists in. I don't have that limit here. David, I should answer this because the question is really important. David asks, am I one of the developers of ZBrush? And I have to be really clear what my relationship is with them. I was the first product manager, and I was one of the, you know, just one of the first employees. That's the way I like to say it. I was not one of the first developers. I was not a developer. I was on the development team as a product manager. The developers are amazing, amazing people, and the head of development, who we all know as Pixelator, the brainchild, the guy who put this together, is just, he's got a wonderful mind, a beautiful mind. All right, guys, let's get started. So hopefully you will have seen Module 0, and in fact, let me set this to 150 so you can see this. Module 0, where I walk you through the first sculpt of a head, and I walk you through the grammar of sculpting. Hopefully you've seen that on the hub already. If you haven't, then I'll make sure that the link is there for you in the email after this course. And it does take me about, you have to give us 24 to 48 hours to get the recording to you after a live session, but I'm going to hustle right after this one. Okay, so Module 0 would have been really great for you to have seen beforehand, but that's okay. You can go through that later. What we want to cover today is what's in Module 1. The first thing we need to do is get ourselves comfortable with lingo. So if you're writing notes, then I'm going to give you words that you need to remember. And one tip for people that are watching these sessions, try to be involved, follow, take notes while I'm lecturing, try not to follow along in ZBrush. Everybody falls backwards when they follow along. Use the recording to follow along. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about canvas, shelf, menu, tray, pop-up, lightbox. Okay, I'm going to talk about those in a moment. We're going to talk about navigation. We're going to talk about words for your model. Okay, then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about blocking in. Then we're going to talk about establishing form and what I call the polygonal edge of reason. This is where polygons start to break down. Establishing shadows and edges. So this is knife tools and how to get, not details, but how to really hone the form. Edge control, really. I'm going to make sure today that you know a little bit more about topology than you did coming into it. And make sure you know saving the tool and all of that stuff. Okay, that's the essential stuff. I'm going to also try to get you into kit bashing. Talk about using reference, using the mesh insert system, mesh organization, and I'm going to hopefully get you an end on the canvas system, making sure you understand what a pixel is, how to reboot your canvas. So this is all the stuff we're going to try to cover today, and I'm going to take you step by step through sculpting a bust and moving on from there. Any questions before we jump in?